Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to Score Science. My name is Luke and this is the match preview for Everton versus Roma. Now, when this game got initially announced, it was pretty much the, what do they call it? It was going to be a what's-the-name game. It was the owner's game, I think, in a sense, because we were looking to be pretty much almost guaranteed to have a freaking group. I forgot the name, it's been that long since I've actually thought about them. I've completely forgot the name. So Freaking Group were meant to be taking over Everton. It looked almost certain. It was pretty much, if you were to put a tenner on it, you would have only got £1 return. It was that almost certain of it. But yeah, it was going to be the Freaking Group derby almost. But yeah, as we know, that's all been put up in smoke at the moment. Now, don't get me wrong, I've got a feeling there's something might happen in the future. I mean, at the moment, the rumour is that Texter is still looking at trying to take over Everton. He's trying to sell off his shares with Crystal Palace and he's looking to try to take us over. So, only time will tell. I've got a feeling something's going to happen. I've got a reasonable feeling that something is going to happen before we move into the stadium or before the keys actually swap hands. I think something is going to get announced. I've got a feeling in the back of my mind, you know. But yeah, right. Let's have a little talk about Everton and everything. So, previous game was against Motherwell. That game was actually done behind closed doors, and I'm gutted that we actually didn't get to see that one. We could have even got some highlights of that. It would have been nice to get a little bit, even a little stream of it. Not even a stream, a highlight reel of it. You know, a couple of little things of the game, even if it was just, you know, camera quality of, you know, like a bloody phone. If it was phone camera quality, then I would have been happy with that. But unfortunately, we didn't get that. Did we even get images of it? I don't think we even got images of it. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed in that one. We ended up winning that one 6-0. Goals from, I think it was 2 from Beto, 2 from Malpai, 1 from Jake O'Brien, and 1 from, I think, might have been Armstrong? I don't know. I would have to, it's going to be down here, the people who scored. But I've got a feeling Armstrong scored. I don't know. It might have been. But yeah. So far this season we've had 1 draw, 2 losses, 2 wins by that argument. I mean, to be honest with that Motherwell game, from what I've found out about the lineups and everything, it was pretty much your on the edge players and your non-regulars who got most of the feature in that one. Apart from Beto, obviously, because Beto has actually had a little bit of a feature with the squad as of late. But yeah, so that one was good. So we're on a nice little upward trajectory in that case. So we've beaten Preston 3-0 and we've beaten Motherwell 6-0. It's a bit brutal, like, but hey ho. So yeah, AS Roma as well. So they've had a bit of a reasonable one as well. So I think they've won 2 of theirs, drawn 2 and lost 1. They were meant to be having a pre-season friendly against Coventry, but I believe that one actually got cancelled. That was meant to happen last Tuesday on my birthday. But yeah. So, how are we looking for this little match? Unfortunately, we've actually got quite a bloody extensive injury list. So right now, I've got the injury list right here, by the way. So we're missing Nathan Patterson, Michael Keane, Youssef Chimiti, Seamus Coleman, James Garner, Abdoulaye Doucouré, Dele Alli, who isn't even contracted with us, so and Jared Branthwaite. Dele Alli, though, is, well, according to Premier League injuries, he's been ruled out. Now, the thing is, though, I'm assuming they're making that remark in regards to the game against Brighton. He's ruled out because, for one, he hasn't signed a contract, so he can't play for us in a Premier League sort of thing. So he may potentially have a fixture against Roma. And 2, apparently, apparently, Dele is getting fitter, but only really just breaking into training. Forgetting about contract situation, he's generally with us and getting fitter. So, by that argument, they're basically saying that he's there. He's not really going to be playing, but he's getting back into his shape, and we're going to make a decision on him just before the start of the season. In regards to Branthwaite, apparently he's currently being assessed. He's had some minor surgery. He's making good progress all of a sudden. He had a slow spell, but that's in the beginning. But he's beginning to move forward. Hopefully, he'll certainly be in and around it. But they're not confident that he's going to be there for the Brighton game. But you never know. Things might happen. But to be honest, I'm not wholly concerned that if he's out for a couple of games, because I feel like Jake O'Brien at this point in time, he's very close like for like. He's nice and strong. He knows where the net is as well. He's had a couple of cracks at goals, so we know that he's a scoring he's a scoring defender. I was going to say scoring striker then. I mean, to be honest, he could be the improved Michael Keane in that regard, you know. Knows where the net is, but can stay back. And instead of making bloody errors every other bloody game. But yeah. So how are we going to line up with this game? Now, this is what I would like to do if I was in that situation. I'll go as strong as possible, in all honesty. So this is the lineup I'd like to do. So it would be a 4-3-2-1 sort of setup. Yes, I know Calvert-Lewin. Now, just very quickly, actually, I'm going to take this off real quick. So very quickly, Calvert-Lewin, at this point in time, we have a feeling he's going to leave at the end of the season. For the games he features, get behind him. Honestly, get behind him. Because you never know what's going to happen over the course of the next 12 months. Because apparently the contract is still on the table. It's not, written in stone. He's refused the contract tripped up. He's not getting anything else. That's it. There is still a contract on the table, so he could turn around at any point in the foreseeable and say, you know what, actually, I think my future is here with Everton Football Club. I want to stay. And he signs that deal. So yeah, back to it. So honestly, don't give him grief. Don't give him grief when we've got him in the squads or in the starting lineup, because he doesn't. He's a professional. He is a professional. He doesn't deserve it, and he's had a lot of good times with us. He's been a really good striker for us, so let's not get on his back. So yeah, so in goal, obviously, Jordan Pickford. Pickford's back in the squad now after his little holidays and everything. I mean, chances are if it was Sean Dyche, he's going to probably start Virginia in goal, and then the next half he'll actually bring Jordan Pickford in. And then I'd have Mikalenko at left back, O'Brien, Tarkowski and Young. So at the moment, like I said, Seamus Coleman's out, Nathan Patterson's also out, so it's not looking good in that regard. So we've only got one right back, natural right back in a sense, and that being Ashley Young. And to be honest, I don't think Ashley Young will get the full 90. I think we'd have to probably look at Dixon going into that. But to be honest, I'd be happy with Dixon if he was in the starting lineup over Ashley Young. I wouldn't argue it. I would not argue it, and I think he'd be a good replacement for Ashley Young because he's young, he's hungry, he wants to get up the field, he wants to do what modern day fullbacks want to do, and that's get up the field and get back. They're almost like an ad hoc wing back in a way. So yeah, as a number 6, I'd have Idrissa Gana Gueye. So as I've got it here, I've got a 4-2-3-1. But how it would operate would be Idrissa Gueye would be the number 6 and Ira Burnham would be number 8. The only reason I've got it like this with the side by side is more down to the fact of when you have it sitting like this, it gets very cluttered around the middle. So yeah, so Ira Burnham as a number 8, I cannot argue with that in any way, shape or form. So far in this pre-season, he's him, Ndai, Lindstrom, Harrison, Tarkowski when he played. They've all been solid. Honest to God, they've all been solid, and a couple of the lads from the youth squad who are coming through, they've had some good little moments as well. So these are lads I want to start seeing coming into the squad. I mean, if we're not going to be getting any new signings as of this point on, I think there will be one or two more signings before the window's over, but that's only if we've sold a couple of players, whether it be Neil Mopai, whether we've sold Beto. There's a lot to happen over the course of this, but yeah. So I've got Jack Harrison, Iliman Ndiaye as number 10 and Lindstrom as a right wing. So I know a lot of people will argue and say, oh, Harrison needs to be on the right. In my honest opinion, when he's been playing for Leeds, his strongest position has always been on the left, because is he left-footed? I think he is. He's a left-footed left winger naturally. He can play on the right, but only what happens then is he's on the right, he comes in, and then his options become limited for some reason. Whereas on the left, he's able to actually turn in and potentially do crosses, do passes. He seems a lot more comfortable on the left wing. In regards to Iliman Ndiaye, I like the guy. I really do like the guy. He is a very, very promising player. I mean, I'll be honest, him and Ira Burnham, when Ira Burnham first got announced in the squad, I thought he was going to be Dobbin 2.0. It was the situation of when he came from Aston Villa to us, I thought he was quite literally just a Lewis Dobbin 2.0. He was just going to be sort of on the cuff, on the bench, and occasionally come on and play. But so far in this pre-season, I think he's going to be a mainstay. I think he's going to be the one who actually pushes James Garner either out to the right or pushes Garner into another position. If Idrissa Gueye's not fit to play, I think he'll probably take over the Idrissa Gueye role. So it's going to be a very interesting season in that regard. I'm actually excited to see what happens in that middle of the park. because we've got the likes of Abdoulaye Doucouré now fighting with Iliman Ndiaye for that position. You've got James Garner fighting with Burnham and Idrissa Gueye for them positions there. You've got McNeil fighting with Harrison and Lindstrom for them positions there. There's a lot of competition in and around the middle coming up. Whereas at the moment, we need another left back, definitely. We need another centre back, definitely. We need to get rid of Michael Keane. Well, you know what? I wouldn't say get rid of Michael Keane, actually. I think if we just run his contract down and let him go on a free at the end of it, I would not argue against that. Regards to Mason Holgate, get rid of him. Neil Maupay, I don't see him fitting into the squad, unfortunately, even though he scored 2 against Motherwell. I just don't see him doing well in the squads, especially in the Premier League sort of standing, because it just doesn't suit his style of play. What he likes to do is he likes to be the second striker. So when he was at Brentford, he would feed off the likes of Ivan Toney, and anything that came loose, he would take advantage of, or vice versa. He would basically feed off to Ivan Toney, and Ivan Toney would score. It's not going to work with this squad. I just don't feel like it's going to work, because where's he going to fit in that squad? Right now, with that starting 11 right now, where would he fit in there? Because I don't see us being able to take out Iribana because you're losing number 8. You can't take out Idrissa Gueye because you're losing number 6. You can't take Ndiaye out or Doucouré because you'd lose number 10 naturally. You can't take Harrison or Neil out because you lose your left winger. You can't take Lindstrom out or James Garner when he's on the right wing because you lose a right winger. There's no space in that regard. The only way you'd be able to go around it is if you just swap Maupay out for Calvert-Lewin and have Iliman Ndiaye come up as the second striker. But then it doesn't work in that regard because he needs to be the second striker. He likes to be the opportunist who gets that loose ball. So it just doesn't work around that. You'd have to do 2 swaps in order to make him work, and that would be taking Iliman Ndiaye out and Calvert-Lewin out and having, say, Beto and Maupay in. So having Beto as the target man and Maupay. But even then, that doesn't work. Chimiti and Maupay, again, doesn't work. There's no sort of synergy with that squad where he fits in. That's why I think we need to get him out the door, in all honesty. But yeah, like I said, up top, Calvert-Lewin. I think this is an ideal situation for him to sort of get himself reaffirmed with the fan base, because he's kind of left a bit of a bad taste in the mouth, and we need to, I think if he gets a goal or 2 against Roma, that'll be a way for him to say, look, I'm here to stay for now. Let's see what the future holds. I love the squad. I love the badge for now. Let's see what happens. But yeah, guys. So that's that. That was, let's see. So how long are we into this at the moment? So we're about 10 minutes into this video already, pretty much. So yeah, that was pretty much 10 minutes of me ranting about the lineup there and talking basic football philosophy. Well, we're talking basic Everton philosophy in that regard. So yeah, there is also rumours apparently that we're looking at getting Calvin Phillips. So in that regard, it would mean James Garner is definitely going to be either number 8 or a right midfielder. He's going to get pushed out of the squads, which I don't want. But then again, you're going to have hybrids almost. You're going to have hybrid roles in a way. So the likes of, let's say, Timmy Burnham gets 5 yellows and he's suspended, he can fall into that role. If Lindstrom gets injured or he gets suspended, falls into that role. Vice versa, if he does better than Lindstrom or Burnham in the training sessions, I can say, right, you. We've now got options, and it's actually a struggle to make a lineup for the good reasons in that regard. So if we're able to get a striker, a semi-decent one, I'd say, if we're going to end up selling Beto off to Atalanta. And I mean, like I said, Calvin Phillips is number 6. I wouldn't mind him coming into the squad, but I think he'd have to be bled in rather slowly. With him going from Leeds to Man City. At Man City, he basically went in not because he had a role in that squad. It's because he was being taken out of everyone else's line of sight. Because I know a lot of other teams, apparently Man U were after him, Arsenal were after him, Chelsea were after him, Liverpool were after him. A lot of teams were looking at him at the time. And Man City said, you know what, we don't want you having him. We're taking him. And we're going to starve him. Which is a terrible way to do football. It is honestly a terrible way, an evil way. And I don't like that. I think if a player comes into your squad, he comes into your squad solely for the reason of making your squad better, giving you more options, and giving you a bit more diversity in your squad. But yeah, that was about nearly 15 minutes worth of me rambling there. So hopefully we got a little bit of, pre-match stuff talked about there. So yeah, I'd like to thank you very much for watching, guys. Also, before we go, I'd like to talk very quickly about Rob, who does these beautiful, beautiful pieces of art here. If you like any of this, he's actually even done the home kit and the away kit as wallpapers. So if you want to go and support him, it's all down here in the description below. It's on his handles and everything are all down there. If you want to buy any of this stuff, he also does apparel as well. So he's got the Bramley Moore stuff. He's working on other stuff as well. So I think he's even working on Goodison Park. So go check him out, honestly. There's also deals as well. So if you do Science TV 20, you get 20% off, as well as other little bits and pieces. He also has special offers as well. So any of his older stuff, he puts that on offer as well. I've had times where I've seen it where it's like almost 50% off. And I can't emphasize this one enough. He loves this badge more than... I think he probably loves this more than I do, to be honest. Now, bear in mind, I absolutely live and breathe Everton. I mean... Fucking look. Everton. I've got Everton stuff over here. I mean, for crying out loud. I played at Goodison Park. If you ever check out one of my shorts, it's on there. So, I can't emphasise that enough. He probably loves them more than I do. So, please go and give him some support. But, anyway, guys, that's enough for me today. If you see me around the ground as well, you'll probably see me around Goodison tomorrow. So, if you see me, just say hello. I'll be more than happy to say hello and that. I really do enjoy talking to Evertonians, and if we want to discuss anything, please let me know. So yeah, take care guys, have a great weekend, up the fucking toffees, and peace.